guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Samantha.
I'm Dan.
And we are officially 3 months postpartum. It's so crazy.
That's wild.
I don't even remember being pregnant. But we are going to spill all the tea on how we're doing emotionally, physically, mentally, and let's get into this. Okay, 3 months postpartum. How are you feeling?
I'm tired. No, I feel good. I mean, we've had so much adventure and we've traveled so many places and got to spend time as a family. So honestly, I haven't really thought at all about
really
surrogacy
crazy.
or the fact that we're
Postpartum.
that just happened.
It feels so crazy. And I guess first off, to talk about physically how I'm doing postpartum wise, I feel great. I feel back to normal. We did work out a little bit at the gym here locally to us before we hit the road full time, and then we've worked out some being on the road, but it's honestly been a lot of adventuring.
Yeah.
But physically wise, I feel great. I did tear first degree up and down, but I feel like that's healed. I had my 3-week postpartum appointment before I left and was all cleared for normal activity then. So physically I feel good, and I've been able to like keep up my endurance and I feel back to normal, even though like my body's still getting back to normal.
I feel like it was a very normal pregnancy and recovery.
Yeah, for sure. Or at least for me, for my pregnancies. And so physically I feel good. And emotionally, like he was saying at the beginning we just have been busy. It feels like we haven't, like we don't even remember being on a journey, or like I don't remember being pregnant, because we've had so much to do with RV life and traveling that emotionally I don't think we've allowed ourselves to get down in a rut at all.
Yeah.
Right? And so hitting the road full time was probably the best thing that we could have done. Personally for our family, we love it. We're excited to be on the road and to travel and adventure and spend time together. But I do think postpartum wise or recovery wise, like on an emotional side, that it was good to have something just to focus on and change our attention to, rather than us not bringing home a baby.
Well, and that's why, I mean, the entire time we wanted to have something to look forward to, wanted to have something that we could transition from surrogacy, coming home without a baby, to something exciting, so that we weren't just dwelling on the fact, or like
that we
you didn't really have an opportunity to like get super down about it. Yeah.
And if you watch some of our earlier episodes or some of our content prior to, one of the things we were doing to prepare mentally for this transition was hit the road in the RV. So that was always on our mindset. We didn't announce it until later, but we had always planned to, whether it was a big like month-long vacation or hitting the road full time, we knew we wanted to do it. In our early on research and preparation, that's what we read and found, that you don't come home with a baby, so spend time as a family, focus on your kids and the kids that you have, and make memories. And when your mind, like Dan said, when your mind is busy doing something else, you don't have time to miss, or you don't allow yourselves to get down in that place. And so I do think that if, I did go back to normal life, I don't know, I do love creating content, and so that for me, that's an outlet for me. But for someone who maybe has a job that they don't enjoy, or, they come home and their kids are at school and, they have nothing to really look forward to, it could be hard because you just jump back into normal life.
Our lives are so like upbeat and fast paced. You're not like just sitting in there filling out numbers at a computer.
Yeah.
Or, standing behind a desk or at a cash register. Like your mind is very active.
Oh yeah.
And so
daily.
I feel like in those times where you would just be sitting around and you would have time to think about it and dwell on it, like our lifestyle doesn't lend us that many opportunities to do that. So
so on an emotional side, coming home without a baby or that transition, we feel pretty good, and
I feel like it was a 10 out of 10 on that side
for
of it.
sure. Like I'm very thankful that I didn't have postpartum depression or anxiety. Now that's not to say that I didn't have moments of being overwhelmed or I wasn't emotional, because there were postpartum emotions where at least those first few weeks, I would cry for no reason. Dan's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I literally don't know, but you're about to leave me to go hang out. Can you just stay here and just like be with me? And so I did have that, but transition wise from surrogacy emotionally, 10 out of 10.
Lastly, a lot of people have been asking like, hey, any updates? How are things with the intended parents? And at this point, they continued to remain private about it. And after surrogacy, they decided to part ways. And that's been difficult, I would say. That's been the most difficult part of the whole process, because we did intend on having a relationship long term. But we totally understand, like, this can be an emotional process all the way around. And, feelings change, or what you set out to do at the beginning may not be how it all ends up in the end. And so I would say for both of us, that's been the most difficult part.
Yeah, definitely disheartening and a bummer, but we want to respect their desires, for them to continue on as a family, and we'll pray for them and send them their best wishes. But we have not received any updates, unfortunately. But I guess any insight on that, if you're on your own journey, and be prepared that things happen, whether it's physically, transfers don't take the first time, or relationally, that there's always something that could happen in a journey. And so just prepare for that. But like any relationship, just communicate your desires, communicate your concerns, good or bad, just to stay in good communication and to keep that relationship strong. But at the same time, not all journeys, or not all intended parents or surrogates on a journey desire a close relationship. Some do. Some want to do the journey, have the baby, and part ways and never speak again, which is totally fine.
Some are totally just anonymous from the get-go.
Exactly, some are anonymous from the get-go. And so, just, again, from the beginning, clearly communicate your desires for the journey, but then also know that things could change, and just kind of be prepared for that, because feelings change and emotions change. And
people come into these journeys for a lot of different reasons. A lot stem from past trauma or losses, and that can be very difficult. And so, have grace with one another. If you're an intended parent or a surrogate, in dealing with the others, you never know what they're going through mentally or emotionally or relationally, physically. And so, as you go into it, just understand, like, this is definitely an emotional process.
Yeah.
And sure. Any little hiccup can be even more emotion, or add more emotion to it. And so, go with it, or go into it with that understanding, and put a lot of prayer and thought into it. And at the end of the day, you can only control you. And, sometimes it's hard to even do that. So.
That's true. So communicate your desires, have grace. And then with our kids, their transition has been great. I feel like we haven't, maybe since like the second or third week, we haven't heard anything.
They haven't really talked about
They haven't. Maybe for that first month, they would mention the baby, or they would like touch my belly, because Ember was used to touching my belly, which in one of my postpartum episode, go watch that, because she like touches my belly, and it's really cute. But I feel like on their side, postpartum transition recap, they're doing great.
Yeah.
Again, jumping into RV life, we got a puppy. They didn't really have a chance to be like, wait, where's the baby that was in your belly? Now it's not. What? Like, they didn't have that. So yeah. All together, 3 months postpartum, 10 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
9.5 out of 10. We're doing really well. And so, because this journey did go well, we have prayed about and talked about doing another journey.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. We are still, some people have messaged me like, Sam, you just delivered. Why are you starting another journey? I'm like, here's the deal. I'm not like transferring tomorrow.
We're not getting knocked out tomorrow, okay?
That's not how this works. But with rematching, we are choosing to go through an agency just to have a little bit of more support in that way to help filter some of the matches for us. And so choosing an agency, rematching, all the paperwork and everything, it takes time. And so we're starting it, but we're not transferring tomorrow. So we're excited, and we'll continue sharing our life, our RV travels, adventures, and stick around because journey number 2.5 is coming up.